Hello everybody and welcome back to the RDA, welcome back to the channel. I hope you are doing well. It is your Sheffield versus Manchester United preview with TripleM, and honestly I don't know what to even say because it would be just like United to go ahead and lose this game, but honestly Sheffield have not won a game this season. Sheffield are in the mud. Sheffield are awful. They are awful. I thought Burnley were awful. I thought Arsenal were awful. I thought all these other teams floating around that relegation scrap were awful, but Sheffield are at the bottom. I believe they only have a single-digit amount of points this season so far. So for me, it's very simple. It's very simple. I already think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not the right man for the job because he's a tinker man who can't pick the same 11 or the same team shape and have a consistent philosophy in the way he plays. But if you lose this goes beyond an agenda. This goes beyond, Ollie in, Ollie out, shake it all about. Is a Manchester United manager really allowed to lose to a team that nobody has lost to this season when he's sat ninth and just got knocked out of the Champions League? Mind you, he was in the top of the group that he got knocked out of. After 3 games, we were on top of our Champions League group and we managed to get knocked out of that Champions League group. We made 3 semi-finals last season. We bottled all 3 of them. We came third. Whoop-de-doo. We're in 9th now. This is a must-win. This is a must-win. It reminds me of Burnley last season. Burnley last season, when we lost 2-0 to Burnley at Old Trafford, that's when I was Ollie out for the first time. And then we went on that magnificent run when we bought Bruno and he turned it all around and I was like, okay, time to give this man some time. But clearly he hasn't learnt anything since he got Bruno Fernandes. Clearly since the acquisition of Bruno Fernandes, nothing has changed. And I've got to look at this game and say, there's a lot of United fans out there that will be saying, it's a tricky game, it will be just like United to lose this. I said at the beginning of the video, it will be one of those games. But I'm not having it. I am not having it. There's nothing tricky about this game. There is nothing tricky about this game. We are playing the worst team in the Premier League. We have Paul Pogba. We have Bruno Fernandes. Okay, Paul Pogba doesn't want to be here. We have Van de Beek. We have Matic. We have McTominay. We have Fred. Those are 7 players and they all play in the same position that are better than anything Sheffield has got. We've got Cavani. We've got Martial. We've got Greenwood. We've got Rashford. Harry Maguire is an awful defender, but even Harry Maguire is better than that whole Sheffield backline. I don't care what anybody has to say. Lindelof, better than that Sheffield backline. De Gea, obviously, but even if we played Henderson, for whatever reason, Henderson is still better. Even if we brought back Romero, for whatever reason, Romero is still better than the Sheffield goalkeeper because they don't have Henderson anymore. So, there's no area on the pitch, Telles, Shaw, better than their left backs. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, better than their right backs. Brandon Williams, on a good day, probably gets into that Sheffield team judging by their position on the league, but I'm not even going to go there because that sounds a bit unfair. I'm pretty sure their right back is a little bit better than Brandon Williams, but still, every area on the pitch, Manchester United is just better than Sheffield United. Even if Ollie went out and said, go on then, express yourself lads, we should still win this game. So I'm not having it. I think tactically, in terms of a predicted XI, it's a Thursday night game, late kickoff. We've had time to rest, so I think we should play a strong team. In goal, I think Dean Henderson can get a start in this kind of game for sure, and Dean Henderson needs game time. Otherwise, why the hell are we paying this guy? Why the hell did we boot Romero out of the camp? Play Dean Henderson. He's been doing all right since the Hayes injury, anyways. In the back line, Lindelof, Maguire, obviously they're going to play because they just don't rest. Iron Men, robots, whatever. They've got some chip in their brain that gives them extra energy. Wan-Bissaka, probably Alex Telles on the left to give us a bit of that attacking creativity, in my opinion, because Sheffield will sit back, and this is a team, sorry about the background noise, but this is a team that will sit back and will look to hit us on the break. There's no other way about it. I don't think there's any tactical genius that we'll see from Sheffield United. I don't think they'll try come play football, but you never know in a game of football. So I think it's about United holding the ball, breaking teams down, and I genuinely do think we can do that if we play the right team. In the midfield, I'm going to go with Fred in the pivot. I'm going to go with Van de Beek next to him. I'm going to go with Bruno next to him. And then in the front three, I'm just going to say anything goes. Anything goes in the front three. Anything goes in the front three, whether it's Martial or Cavani up front, whether it's Mata or Greenwood on the right, whether it's Dan James or Rashford on the left, we should win this game. Remember the team we played against Newcastle and we beat them 4-1 after we just got piped 6-1 by Spurs? Dan James and Mata played in that team. McTominay and Fred played in that team with Bruno at the head. We could play that team and still beat Sheffield, because one thing is for sure, those players are not popular amongst Manchester United fans. Mata, Dan James and McTominay, those three that I just mentioned, they're not popular amongst Manchester United fans. But I do agree with the small percentage and the minority of the fan base that like those players in these types of games, simply because they keep their shape and because they're a lot easier to coach than the likes of Paul Pogba, than the likes of Donny van der Beek, than the likes of Bruno Fernandes. We seem to have a more consistent team shape when we play with those players. And it could be because they're bad and they really can't do much but besides move the ball on. But I think it works. It has worked in the past. It will work now. Statistically speaking, before the international break, before the last international break, we had won 100% of our games this year when Fred, McTominay were both in the same team. Doesn't matter who's up front. When those two were in the same team, we had won 100% of our games since January, since Bruno joined, before the international break. I'm not sure what the stat is right now in this very moment, but they haven't played that much since that international break. They played together in the Chelsea game. They played together in the Arsenal game. I don't know why the hell they played in that Arsenal game in a diamond together for the first time, but it is what it is. And I think they played together when we lost against PSG. So that statistic won't really change much and won't really be influenced by those results, because we only lost 2 and we obviously drew the one against Chelsea. The point is, we've had a lot of success with those 3 players. You know, you can go check yourself. You can actually go and look at our logs, our history, and check the formations of the teams that when we were winning, who was actually playing in those teams. Yes, there was that infamous midfield of Matic, Pogba and Bruno, but we can't play that now because our manager won't do it for whatever reason. And on top of that, one of those players that I just mentioned wants to leave. So yeah, so for me, the only player who I wouldn't start in this game, no matter what, is definitely Paul Pogba. He wants to leave. I don't know why we're starting him. I don't know why we're ruining the career of Donny van der Beek, stifling the careers of Matic and Fred for someone who doesn't want to be here. I don't know why we're brown-nosing ourselves and kissing ass to this player that has said he does not want to be here. There's no, it's not lost in translation. It's not, he might have said it, he might have meant this. No, he wants to leave Old Trafford. That's what his agent said. It's done. It's done now. I don't get why he's still playing. But anyways, not going to keep you here any longer. Hope you did enjoy that. Let me know what your score predictions are down in the comments down below if you did make it to the end of the video. And yeah, don't forget to leave a like on the video as it helps the channel grow and it's massively important. And yeah, stay safe and peace out. Catch you in the next one.